start the recording. Yes, perfect. So I already went ahead and loaded a store. And so if we would just have a quick look at some of the functionality first. So what can Store Visualizer do for you? There's a couple of different sections, right? So the first thing is building a store.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, you get standard models. So with the store, you have, I believe, 12 different types of layouts, and I will show you that later. So different types of ceilings and floors, but you can still customize everything. So you can change the color and the materials of the walls and the floor, make it wood or tiles or carpet. Um, you can also use this standard mini mall that comes with the software, and that has 4 different little stores in it. It has a little supermarket, it has a little parfumerie, it has a clothing store,
Mm-hmm.
and it has, let me think, well, we'll see it in a minute again, but those are some of the standard um, environments that come with the software. Now, you can also have ESCO help you to build a custom store.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a customer, for example, in the UK, in England, who had a chain of, wie heißt das, so wie Mediamarkt, or
Yeah.
it was another, it was actually more like a do-it-self Zack. I can't remember the brand, the store chain in Germany, but they,
Saturn, Mediamarkt, yeah,
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. So for
And so
this
they wanted me,
electronic
yeah,
things, no?
well, this one was actually more like materials to help build houses and stuff. Obi?
Ah,
Nein, das ist
ja.
nicht Obi, wie heißt der? Ah,
Ein
das,
Baumarkt.
Baumarkt, genau,
Baumarkt, ja.
genau. And so they wanted us to create one store, Baumarkt, and then they could use it throughout the UK and just change things, and so we can help them with that. And they can do some of the work ahead of time. So if you or your colleagues in your department have high-end design software like Maya or Modo or Cinema 4D. This customer used SketchUp. So
SketchUp. So yeah,
SketchUp
I have
from
to check this with our design. We have a designer team, and I'm quite sure that they have a software, but I do not know what kind of
yes, SketchUp
software it
is
is.
not very high end. There's also Unreal, which is the gaming engine that
Yeah.
I've seen customers use. So there's a variety of possibilities. But that being said, our team, our VTails team, our ESCO team will still have to manipulate. So we can use some of your input if you want to do that. And then you would give it to us and we have to manipulate it for shadows and stuff like that. And then it will become a custom store.
Okay.
And so once you have your store, then you can start putting products on the shelf.
Yeah.
So where do those products come from, right? So typically you would use our toolkits, and that is, let me switch over here to Illustrator. You would use, this is Adobe Illustrator. So
Mm.
you would use our plugins to create all kinds of 3D models. So here you can see a tray. I can show you some other examples. Let me see. Let me show you some examples here from that I did for Drupal right here. So, here's a product, Duschgel
Shower gel, yeah.
or the
Mm.
toilet right there. So these are all made, all these products are made with our ESCO toolkits. And there's 4 toolkits. There's a toolkit for boxes, one for labels, one for shrink, and one for bags.
Mm-hmm.
So the bags allow you to make like chips bags and stuff like that. It doesn't look like I have an example. Oh, here's a pouch. Here's an example of a bag, a pouch,
Mm-hmm.
and here's another example.
Mm. Yeah.
So if you don't have Studio, you would still be able to get your model from another design program that your team has. And the only thing you have to do is generate a collada file, which is an industry standard format for 3D to exchange 3D files. And then you would be able to import that right in your project using the import model right here. And it's important maybe for your team. Let's say I can't see the extensions. Yeah, cancel. I can't see the extensions of the files that I can import, but I can communicate the list through Daniel. So you can import various models. And then once you have your products and you place them on the store shelf, then you can start interacting as well. So you can walk around freely and pick up objects. And we'll see that in just a second. There's physics involved, meaning if you take a product, you could drop it and it will fall on the floor, just like in the real world. It also has touchscreen capability. So if you have a large touchscreen, you can use that and interact with the touchscreen. So you can touch the screen like an iPad, right? Apple iPad or other. And then you can also go into the virtual reality world. And we support a variety of virtual reality goggles like Oculus Rift, HTC Vive. And there's other ways as well. There's eye trackers you can use to capture, but that's more to capture. And then share and present. So you can export high resolution images, panoramics for Mac and PC. But as far as capturing is concerned, we also have this consumer insight module that allows you to capture research data. And I think you mentioned, Sandra, that that's something you guys are interested in as well. So
yes.
So right. So you can use a variety of ways to capture. So the person that you share the store with doesn't need the expensive eye tracking device, right? I mean, that would be a little silly to request each of your participants to have this eye tracking. So if they have a keyboard and a mouse, that's sufficient, right? But obviously, with just a keyboard and a mouse, you can track. Let me walk through. So they will be walking through the store. So I'm starting to walk through the store. Let's go over here. So I hope this translates through the webinar. I could come here. I could look at a product. If this is a single product, I would be able to select it. And then, so in order to select it, they will have a tool that allows it to select, and then they'll be able to use the product viewer. Oh, I'm taking a snapshot. Hang on. My shortcut was set wrong, so I just took a snapshot, and here's the snapshot. By the way, it took 3 minutes, so high resolution. So in order to pick it up, I can right here. I can go into more actions, product viewer settings. Well, that's strange. I thought P was to pick up my product. Well, that's weird. Okay, I'm in product mode. Select it. Well, that's embarrassing. I can't remember the product. Here's the product viewer settings. So these are my setting windows. So when I pick it up, it's going to move into space and then in front of me, 35 centimeters in front of me. Oh, here we go. So with the toggle and 35 is maybe a little too close, right? So I could change that distance. So see here with toggle, I can really pick that up and look at it. And also while I'm looking at it, I can go back into this free float mode and zoom out a little bit. I can, and then, whoops, hit my escape key. And then I can also look at the product like you would, you know, turn it around, and then I could put it back. So I need to figure out what the shortcut is for this one. It's definitely not P. But so that's interacting with the store. So with keyboard and mouse. Now, when I look at the store, I can also capture the movement. So the path I took, and you can see here on the floor. I hope you can see that. So this is the movement.
Footsteps, yeah.
Yeah, these are my footsteps, right? And the number you see there, Sandra, that is the amount of seconds that I stayed on that spot, right?
Yeah.
And so,
Interesting.
and I prepared a little, let's see, planogram. I can show you this in a much quicker way because I have this, I recorded this ahead of time. This might be easier. So what I've done here is I imported a planogram, right? So you don't always have to start from, let's mute this. You don't have to start building this and placing everything in there. If you have planogram software, this planogram software can generate a data file, a data set, like you see here, with different SKU numbers and the product description, the price, maybe, what brand it is, what sub-brand, right? And is that something that you guys have, Sandra?
No,
Do you know that? You
no,
don't?
but
Okay.
that is something that we need, I think. And as the articles are different for each country, I think we need a lot of data there. Is it available too, or?
Yes. So
Okay.
typically planogram software, there's a
Yeah.
couple of companies out there in the market that specialize in planogram.
Yeah.
Esco, we don't have planogram, but we do allow to import the planogram.
Yeah.
Okay. GDA, I think, or GD is one of the better known companies for planogram. Again, I'll make a note and I'll send you a link to some planogram
Yeah.
software companies. But they really make it much quicker for you to import an entire aisle, as you can see here, right? Instead of having to, because that's the big problem, right? If you don't have the 3D models, it's almost impossible to use our toolkits and go through all this and create hundreds of products.
Yeah,
That's not very productive. So another way that you can do is, so once you have the planogram, once you place it in Store Visualizer, you can place it and you can look in bird's eye view, and then you can get a little up a little closer. You'll see that, let me go back one step. You'll see that all these products are 2D. There. It's hard to see because we're not up close and personal, but these are all little images. And basically, here's what some of our customers do. Let me show you this. So I received for a proof of concept this week from a customer in Australia. He gave me a planogram file, like you saw earlier. And then he gave me a list of 312 images. And I'll just scroll through here. And now, as you can see, Sandra, these are pictures they took with a high resolution camera, and they just have the frontal view, right? So I can go through here, and there's 300 pictures in there, and they're also PNGs, meaning they have a transparent background. Okay, that's important because then I won't see this area right here. Right? I will just see the actual product. So what happens now is, as you import this planogram file, you can tell the software that in that file that I showed you, the software needs to look for the images in this image folder, right? And so it will automatically find the images and match them with the planogram file and show you the aisle like so. And then you can share that with your customers, and I'll explain how that works. I know it's all a little complicated. It sounds complicated, but it's not. And they will then do the tracking, right? They will do the insight, the tracking. Now, before I show you the insight, the consumer insight model, you'll also see some magic happening right here. And as I play this, you'll see that I am pointing to a library of 3D models. So apart from those two-dimensional little pictures, I also have spent a lot of time for this product set to create three-dimensional models using our toolkits and those pictures. So what you can then do is you can see here I am loading this library of beverage models that were created. And as soon as I load that, the software will say, hey, instead of using the 2D, I can use the 3D models. And this is what's happening right now. And now I have this really, really high resolution 3D modeling. And what I can also do is I have a randomizer. Random in English means, like in the real store, right? Where you don't have all these products lined up like little soldiers, right? People take products away, people move products, right? So it creates more realism, right? As you can see here, I'm creating realism, right? And so once you're at a point where you say, okay, this is a great starting point for my consumers now to interact with this, and we can start capturing information. Okay, let's pause here for a second. I know we covered a lot. What questions do you have, Sandra?
I have a new product and I want to put it in the shelf to see how the customer looks on the product.
Yes, perfect. No problem. So what you do is in your store. So let's say we already have this store and we keep reusing this specific aisle. I come in here and I can say, okay, I'm going to clear out this aisle. So let's see, Option Shift, Command Shift, and I can go in here and I can say, I thought it was, is it space bar? No, it's Shift. I thought it was Command Shift. I definitely need, oh, here we go. It's Control Shift for multiple selections, okay? So I select these, I can delete. And by the way, you can also go in here and you can see, these are all the products, right? So this is the scene tab. And then you can see some products are in an array. So when you click on one product, it selects the entire array if they're grouped. So you can group and ungroup. So once I created some space, now I can go into my project and I can say, okay, for example, I created a new, right here, this new product here in Illustrator. So I exported this using our toolkit. I export this as a collada file. So collada is that 3D. Cancel that. We're going to save that. Cancel that. So I'm going also into a visualizer quality. So visualizer gives me all the special finishes. So if I have metallic or gold or foil, I can see all that as well. So now I'm going to export, and the mistake I made is I exported to Web Center, which is our cloud-based storage. So I'm just going to put it on my local hard drive on my desktop, and we call it Sandra Desktop Safe. Or this could be a collada file that your team has created. You can also use 3D scanners to scan products and bring those in. If you know if that's easier, but those are typically a little heavier, a little bigger, those files. And then in tools, you say, hey, put it in this project library and import it right here.
Yeah.
So with import, I now go to my desktop. We pick this model right here, open it. It's going to show me my import menu right here. We also have an ESCO compatibility. I'm not going to change anything to these settings, but sometimes you might want to scale it or something, you know, if it's too big or too small. But I'm just going to hit the import button, and then we can simply, once it's in my library, it'll show up in here. I can see it here. I can assign now a front and a back. So this is the front. And now I can use my product placement to either place it as a single product or an array. Array, das heißt verschiedene Produkte gleichzeitig.
Ja.
Also nur eins, so. Oder mit diesem hier können wir das einfach ganz schnell so machen. Und kann ich auch sagen, zwei, let's say here,
Zwei Lagen. Ja.
ich will zwei Lagen Product Viewer. Oh, no, 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 no. wrong shortcut. Escape. Oh, I have to learn that shortcut, Product Viewer. That toggle here, this toggle, this is bothering me. You can, it's, where is it? In the model, is it the assembly product mode? Well, I have to brush up on my skills here, but yeah, you could place it too high, and you can see now it's an array. So I can also go in here and I can say break to objects, and so now they're individual, and then I can pick it up again and look at it. And as a consumer, I can even see the gloss, you know, the glossiness. There's even Braille. See right here, Braille code. That's pretty cool. Barcode, and then put it back. Oh, that's the menu showed up on my other screen. That's why I wasn't able to see it. So here we can let me place that back. Control Shift toggle view. So that's why I couldn't see it because this menu was on the other screen. But if I wouldn't have broken it down, this is where I can stack it right here, X, Y, and Z.
Ah, ja.
How many in the X direction, how many in the Y direction, and how many in the Z direction. And this is also where I can give it that clutter view. And then what you can also do is you can quickly interchange, let's say I have this Cocoa Pups. I can right click and I can say model to library, which shows up right here. So it selects it for me. I know where it sits in the library. I don't have to go search for it. And then I can quickly select another one. And then with this toggle right here, I can easily or quickly replace, see? I can quickly replace and see, okay, show me what does that knusprige Musli, guck mal. Oh,
Lecker, lecker.
ja, aber das sieht nicht gut aus, der Verpackung. Machen wir mal wieder diesen hier, Granola, ja, der Quaker. So that's how you can, ganz schnell können Sie das hier austauschen. Verschiedene Modellen so. Ja, also das ist, wie man ein Produkt auf dem shelf, you can place it and then change your models. So we were talking about the consumer insight again, right? So how can we do consumer insight? So consumer insight is a plugin right here where you can capture and create different data sets. So it all starts with what we call a data set. And so a data set is a person looking at the store and capturing, and you are collecting data. Okay, so let's pause here for a second. How do we do that? Right? Because let's say, Sandra, you're using the software, you created this, and you have a customer in, let's say, in France, right? An office, Henkel oder Henkel in Belgien, und sie willen diesen Store austauschen und sagen, hier, start recording.
Yeah.
So, for now, heute, müssen Sie diesen Store speichern und austauschen mit traditional ways. So it's probably too big. Depending on the size, this could be 100, 200 megabytes. So it's depending on the store, it could be big. So today you would have to use, Microsoft OneDrive or a file sharing, a file sharing software, cloud-based, and then your recipient would download that store to their desktop. Okay. In the future, we are able to take this store and push it into the cloud. So you would have a possibility here, Sandra, where you say project save to cloud.
Mm.
And then your customer in Belgium would just go to their Store Visualizer Satellite, und das ist ein Application, das ist ganz ähnlich an der normale Store Visualizer. So you have the regular Store Visualizer. Your customer would download the Store Visualizer Satellite. And that is like a slimmed down, a light version of the store. Okay, does that make sense?
So one part, one shelf only, for example.
No. The satellite is the entire. Is here. Let me start it up. The satellite is right here. Is a slimmed down version of this. So right here, about. Well, I don't have a cloud account.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can see here. This is the satellite. So this is like Store Visualizer, and they can walk around, they can pick up products, they could do everything, but they cannot build, they cannot change the floor color, the light. So it's almost like a viewer type thing, but then a really robust viewer.
Okay.
Okay. And so they would have to have an account into the ESCO cloud. So let's say you have 10 customers you want to invite. You would create 10 accounts in the cloud, and you would tell them, hey, go and download this satellite app. They would download it. And then you would tell them, here is the store. They would download the store. And then they would see this, and they would be able, they won't see any of these icons. They only have like the view right here, right? And they would be able to do, whoops, they would be able to do all this. They would be able to walk around and look at products and pick them up and do all that. And so as we start capturing, we are collecting feedback. We are collecting input from those customers. So they will start a session, and they will then, and I can show you that, how that looks like. So here, let's see. Yep, so here I'm starting to capture. So this is where, I specify my name, Bart. I don't have a tracker, poor me. I just have a keyboard and a mouse, right? But, and I want a virtual shopping basket.
Yeah.
Virtual shopping basket.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Super,
And
super.
then you go shopping for 1 hour and
Genau.
Yeah.
Und hier können wir dann sagen, okay, the customer is 53 years old, he is male, right? It's a male person, 53, located in the US, because all that information could be important, right? To extract information later, right? And so now the customer starts, and I'm going to speed this up a little bit, and says, okay, Coca-Cola, and as soon as they pick up a product, and can I speed this up? Speed, playback speed. 1.5 times. There you go. So I'm walking through this much faster now. So they're looking, oh, Belgian beer.
No.
Gut, das müssen wir kaufen, das gehe ich kaufen. Ja, also ich gucke da, das ist nur 4,99 hab, and I added it to my shopping cart, my virtual shopping cart. Oh, Jupiler, sehr gut, 4,99, add to cart. We're gonna have a party. So, also wenn ich fertig bin mit diesem Shopping, and I'm gonna skip a little bit ahead, right here. Now, kann ich sehen, welchem Articles ich gekauft habe, gell? Also hier kann ich sehen und ich kann nur auch, also diesen Datenset ist nun fertig und du, Entschuldigung, Sie.
Na, alles gut.
No, yeah, I know it's difficult in German.
Perfect.
Also nun kann ich, Sie können all diesen Daten nun kompilieren. Das heißt, right here, you will now collect all this data. And now you can start filtering through your set. And you can say, okay, I want to now focus on all male or all female or all customers between the age of 50 and 60, right? And you can see here, I have two different kinds. I have people who only had keyboard and mouse. And then I also had participants who had eye tracking device. So this supports eye tracking devices like, there's a whole list of them. I think we mentioned it here. Toby, no, we're not mentioning it, or we do. Yeah, so here you can see simulate and then track the shopping behavior. So this, we support a variety of different tracking devices, eye trackers. And that's a very simple device that you can place on your desk. Toby eye tracker. It's not too expensive, but it gives you much more capabilities to see. So you can kind of see it here. See, it sits on your keyboard. Yeah. It sits on your keyboard. It's a little, just a little, yeah. Oh, we don't want to look like Superman here. That's, or glasses, right? They have glasses right here with built-in trackers. Of course, they have the big headsets, but yeah, they also have the smaller eye tracking. Anyway, yes, we're getting off track. So once you collect that data, you can then start showing heat maps, right? And you can say, okay, show me where did Bart shop most of the time? Well, of course, it's in front of the beer aisle, right? It's right in front of the beer. Look how much time Bart spent there. He also spent some time here, probably picking something up for his wife, some soda. You can go into a grayscale view and really draw out these heat maps. And then you can also see those in time, right? You can see where did he look, how long did he look there, right? In settings, 6.2 seconds, you can see right there. And then you can follow in time. He started here, then he walked over there, looked 8 seconds, then 6 seconds there, 5.8, and then his eye was caught down here for 12 seconds. Yeah. So this information you can then start to compile, okay? Because this is ultimately, Sandra, this is now all about data analysis, right? Once you have all this data, you can now go into statistics. Okay, and before we do that, let's pause and let's see if you have any additional questions so far.
Oh, it's so much information. It's crazy what you can do with
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know, it's really cool. So here my Jupiler, my Jupiler is my favorite beer. You can see here it took 8.6 seconds, and let me show you in real life. So if you go into the statistics, which, oh boy, I need to refresh. I need to refresh my skills, because it's incredible how quick if you don't use it every day, right here.
Yeah, and how many people are busy with this? I think if I have to use it once a month, I have problems.
Yeah, we
to
have,
work with.
we have some good help. We're also creating video libraries online that you can quickly
Yeah.
go to a video library and you can say, hey, give me a refresher on how to analyze, right? And so you can quickly go to that. But you're right. And so my statistics here depend on the way it was captured, right? Because if it's just a poor old me with a mouse and a keyboard, then I can only capture, cancel, then I can only capture actions and shopping behavior, meaning walking through the store, looking at things, picking them up and putting them in my basket or not. And we can also do category and move path analysis. So move path analysis, obvious, right? How do I walk through the entire store? But with category management, we can also look at all the interconnectivity between the data. So, I have a brand, and that brand, it's more a holistic view in combination with consumer insight. So instead of looking at individual product focus, category management looks at aisle placement, product placement on the shelf, right? Is it placed at the bottom? Is it placed towards the top? So it's basically metadata visualization, right? And we do that by assigning category data to not only products, right? We can say, okay, this product is a toy and it's brand Play-Doh and it's from a company XYZ and whatnot, and it's yellow, and this is the SKU number and this is the price. But so that's all metadata we can assign to these products, but also we can assign metadata to shelves, and we can then use that to give us a holistic picture on the entire store, and we can use that to do quantitative behavioral analysis. So by moving, for example, a product or moving a point of purchase display, a header in a different location, we can see what the impact of that is without having to, and this is very important, without having to recapture based on heuristic data models. We're able to take models, move them around, keep the data, and then see what is the impact of that. And I have a dedicated movie on my YouTube channel, which I will send to you. And there you can really see, if you want, I can show, if you have time, I can show you now.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good.
I'm
So
interested.
very good. So this is my YouTube channel, and I'll send you the link as well. I have lots of videos on here. And so that is called, what did we call that again? What did I call that again? That is, let me see here. I'm looking for the name. So I'm looking for the name so I can quickly find it. Let's go to my videos. Category management. There you go. It's right on the top. Beautiful. So, and I'll just again quickly walk through here. But so once we place it, right. So here I'm looking, I got that same set. I'm looking at a bird's eye view of this store. So this is a bird's eye view, right? Ich weiß nicht, wie man das sagt in Deutsch. You look at
Perspektive, yeah.
Ja. Und nun kann ich
ja, then you
ja,
can see
right, all the
the
consumers,
travel ways of the
yeah,
customers. Yeah.
right, and you can activate or deactivate, right? So here I activated all of them. I can assign color to them, and then I also have a timeline, right? I have a timeline. In this timeline, they're all activated. And then I can start showing, you know, for example, Morgan, Morgan, she's probably French. She spent a lot of time here in front of this aisle, right? Why is that? Well, it was chocolate. This is the chocolate aisle.
Ah,
Morgan loves chocolate. uh, right? And Bart spends a lot of time in front of the beer aisle. You know, stores use this to really reposition. See, now I'm focusing on Catherine, right? This is Catherine,
yeah,
right? And we
yeah.
can see from the moment Catherine entered the store how she walked, you know, where she walked up, and then she left the store. And she was in the store for 263 seconds. And this is the stuff that she purchased in her virtual basket. Now, here is the interesting part. Let me skip ahead. Okay, these are all my categories, right? So remember I told you, Sandra, that you can
Yeah.
assign metadata to shelves, right? So I assign this metadata to these shelves. So you can see this is the dairy aisle and frozen food. This blue is confectionery, right? The green is cereal aisle right here. This is a combination of dairy and produce right here. Okay. So, and then I also can assign metadata to products, right? And then I can visualize this. So here, the blue, remember, was confectionery, which is, you know, sugar and what I can also do is I can then start by analyzing these brands. So for here, for example, we're comparing Mars and Ferrero, which are two European brands. And we can now visualize, see, skip ahead a little bit. So right here, now I'm visualizing price and applying that metadata key to my products. And I create a range from 50 cents, euro cents, right here. Show me all products between 2 euros and 5 euros, 5 and 10 euros, 10 and 20 euros. So I really want to have a price focus, right? Because I want to analyze why are consumers purchasing these products. Maybe we should place the more expensive products here because I get a lot of focus there, right? So what if I would move my more expensive products? Would I be able to entice my customers to purchase those products and have a higher, basically, yeah, more profit, right? So you can see here, you know, that you have a lot of statistics, you know, number of gazes, time spent. So the top ones, these are only available through eye tracking, right? So these are only available if your customer had the Tobii or the eye tracking. All the other ones are available with keyboard and mouse. So here I'm looking at time spent, number of times entered, time to first entry, number of visits, total number of purchases. And then here you can see how long did it take the person to buy it? Did he walk by, picked it up, and or did he spend a lot of time in front of that aisle, right? Bite to pick ratio, number of times put back time, minimum, maximum, average. So you can now start to analyze and say, okay, in my dairy aisle, I had a total time spent there and there. This is the breakdown of that. And now you can start taking corrective actions, corrective countermeasures. So in my category, I'm focusing now on these two brands, Ferrero and Mars. I can see where they're located. And now I can start making changes in my store. And here, what you can see here, Sandra, this is the area in the store where these two products are visible. Okay, so Mars products are visible to my consumers in this area, and then also here at the checkout counter, right? Ferrero, on the other hand, has a much bigger footprint because my products are more prominently present in the store. And for example, when a customer is standing here and they would look over their shoulder, their left shoulder, they would be able to see that product. That's why this area is blue. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So now check this out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this little point of purchase display, this end cap, and we're going to move it to a different location in the store right here and see what the impact is of that.
Yeah.
Right? So just by moving that little point of purchase display over here, and you can see exactly where it's placed. You can do everything very accurately here. You can see the distance in centimeters from each side. And now the beauty of this is that you can now update this thing right here, and you can immediately see what the impact is of moving that, and I emphasize this, without having to redo this capture. All right, so we're still using that same data set. Okay, so we covered a lot of stuff. There's much more you can do, obviously, but I think this might have been a good introduction. Let's see. So we talked about building the store, maybe not as much. I could talk a little bit about that if you want. So you can
Yes.
start. So you
Yeah,
can.
building the store with all these articles. That's yeah. If there's the articles are frequently changing, so new artworks, new articles. Um, all this data, does it come from Planogram?
It can come from Planogram, or you can build it manually.
Yeah, okay. With this pictures then, no? And
Yes, yes. And so I also have a movie on my YouTube channel on how to build a store from scratch. Right here, I have a time lapse,
how
and
long does it take to build such a shop or even a shelf?
it's very quick. Like starting, if you don't need a very specific look and feel,
Yeah.
let me. So here, this is a time lapse, and it'll draw into a higher resolution here in a second. But you can see I'm changing. So I started from a standard template with a specific ceiling, and now I changed wood and bricks, and now I am generating shelves. There's a shelf generator, and then European shelves, US shelves, custom shelves you can make yourself. Now I go into a bird's eye view, and I start positioning. I'm starting to make these, position them properly. So this whole thing here is maybe half hour, right? So it's not really a big deal. And then let's skip ahead. And then here, I can go in 3D. And then here I start adding the shelves now, right? And you can do that numerically as well. But the nice thing is once you have a certain environment and you put all your products in, you can save it in a library, right? So you can have multiple stores. And yes, in the beginning, you will need to spend a little bit of time to create these. Once you have these,
For me, it sounds like this will take years.
no, it really. And keep in mind, Sandra, we also have a department that can help you with that. So if you want to say, hey, Esco, I want you guys to help us with two stores. This is what they look like. These are the shelves, and these are the products. We will tell you, okay, this is how long it's going to take. It's a dedicated project. You have feedback. We show it to you a couple of times, and then finally you sign off on it. So obviously it comes at an extra price because it's a custom service, but we can do that for you.
Okay.
So here, you can import shopping cart. There's a specific aisle. And so now I'm starting to bring in models. So I have these libraries with models, and now I start to position them. Oh, see, that's how easy it was. I forgot. We can just,
Yeah, for you.
just point to it and then put it on top. Okay, note to self. And so, yeah, so this is maybe half hour in real life for 45 minutes. And I've already, I already have some products. I got some shelves. It's not really that big of a deal. And here I got two different shelves. Oh, stuck in there. So yeah, so that's and here you can see the gravity. Right?
Oh.
So I make a mess. Aisle 3. So yeah, and so when you start from scratch, you have this standard library of generic stores. I think there's like 12 or something. I don't know, about 10 different ones. So you can pick from these, right? And you can change most of the look and feel inside, but like the ceiling is kind of determined, right? So if I pick this open lattice, that's what it looks like, right? I can't really change that, but I can change, the floor, all these things, the lighting, color, and all that. Or you can also start from that mini mall. Remember, I told you there's a mini mall included. So there's an empty one and there's one with furniture. So if we open this one, this is free of charge. Well, free. Yeah, when you purchase the software, it's included.
Yeah.
Für Uma. Hammer. Hammer. I love that. When we went to where was it? Italy, and we had some German people there on the beach. Hammerschön. Bayerisch, glaube ich, gell? Oder Hammerschön.
Ja, ja.
Ja,
Ja,
Hammerschön.
ja.
So here you can see, Sandra, this is the, right? So, yeah, general type store. And then I notice I'm kind of low by the ground. Yeah, see? So I want to play, let's say, adult male, adult female. So see, that's your vantage point, right? That's important to set your vantage point. And then you can also pivot around objects. So if you select an object, you can really keep that in your eyesight and pivot around that. All right. And so here, this is a great starting point. You don't have to, you can simply, oh, yeah. So let's get rid of that. Let's go back to that adult female. You can simply start from here and start populating your products in there, right?
Yeah.
And then what you can also see is, I'll show you that. So you can also walk outside, because a lot of our customers also want to show maybe some signage, right? So let's say you have a promotional campaign and you want a poster, Henkel, Henkel product, whatever, 50% off, and you want to see what does that look like.
So it starts already outside of the shop.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's where I had some customers, and let me put this to the side. But we don't have an NDA with this specific customer. But yeah, this customer, for example, they send me 200 pictures, and they said, "Okay, Bart, this is what our store looks like." Yeah, this is a British chain. It's called Wix. They only have it in the UK and in Great Britain. And this is what the store looks like. And so then they told us, okay, all the stores look the same, right? They all have this blue thing. They all have the sign. And so how much would it cost to create this? And so our team, and this is what they look like on the inside, right? Okay, so if you give us all this information, then we can create a custom custom quote for you, basically. So we looked at that one, we looked at this one, and then this is the parfumerie. It's dedicated. So those are 3 different types of stores that are present. And yeah, of course, you can move everything. Everything is, you can pick up this table here. You can move it in 3D space. You can rearrange the furniture, whatever way you want. You can delete it. You can pick up other things. So you can still change a lot in here. Okay. So that brings us to the end of the demonstration. And I know we had a lot of stuff. It's an hour. We recorded this, so I will send you the recording, Sandra, as a private link on YouTube, and you can look it over, share it with other team members. And Danielle is our inside salesperson. So if you have any financially related questions, you can go to Danielle. If you have any additional technical questions, or you want to send me things, or you want to chat, you want another demonstration, you can feel free to reach out to myself or Danielle.
Yes, I will. I'm quite sure that I will contact both of you.
Very good.
For additional questions. Yes. But first I will share it with my team and ask them for their opinion.
Yes.
I think they will love it, but the question is, who will be working with this? And we all do not